Alright, we got another Youth Wake ride line, this time a Stokea based ride line called Mystiark. So let's begin. But first, cards for the last few days, which are both Shoujo Dojis. Both of them are going to be Dragon Empire double rares, the first one being Stealth Rogue of Chain Road Kagechika. Grade 1, AK Power and Skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, choose one card from your drop zone that is Stealth, and you may put it to Soul. Very important because you want to be Soul Blasting those Stealth units. And the Soul Charging is also pretty nice. But anyway, second skill, when your other unit is placed on rearguard from Bind Zone, your Vanguard Shoujo Doji, cost put this to Soul to draw a card. Shoujo Doji's playstyle of calling stuff in the Bind Zone in mid-battle. So what you can do is boost this card for the first attack, and then just put this to Soul to basically just get you a plus. So overall, it's not too bad for Shoujo Doji, helps with Soul basically. Next, Stealth Fiend Isao. Grade 2, tank power and skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, your Vanguard Shoujo Doji costs counterblast 1, look at top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one normal unit that is Stealth from among them and reveal it, put to your hand, and of course shuffle your deck. This is obviously pretty good because this basically searches up your pieces. And there are a lot of generic Stealth cards as well, so keep that one in mind. But anyway, second skill. Auto, when put to Soul from rearguard during the turn, choose one of your opponent's face-up cards in the bind zone and put it to the bottom of the deck. And then choose one of your Vanguards and gets plus 5 key power during the turn. So, because of Shoujo Doji's playstyle of temporarily binding your opponent's rearguards like Nubatama, they're not going to stay permanently bind. So the idea is that you put that card to the bottom of the deck to make it permanently bind. For Shoujo Doji, this makes sense, although I think Messiah is just better when it comes to that aspect. But you mainly use this card for the search. And now to the Dokuvan stream itself, we're gonna just straight up go to the new ride line, the Mystiarks. So here's the starter, Mystiark Peggy Meko. Keep in mind the Mystiark name is gonna be very important for this ride line. But anyway, moving on. Next to the grade 1 with AK power, it's Mystiark Ililidrina. It has a skill of auto when rolled upon by the grade 2 Mystiark, call this to rearguard, which we will have a second skill where count back row rearguard. During the turn, another Mystiark rearguard is placed by your unit's ability. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit and the front row rearguard in the same column gets plus 5k. That's not too bad, honestly. At least that you don't need to call that card in the same column as this card, but doing so, it can still combo pretty well. And just by reading this skill, obviously we're going to have superior calling skill in Mystiarks. And now to the grade 2 with tanky power, Mystiark Lurus Manta, which has the skill auto when rolled upon by your grade 3 Mystiark, call this to rearguard, in which the second skill is auto when placed on rearguard, which will be done on its first skill. If you have 3 or more Mystiark units, you can soul charge 1, and then you choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and during the turn it cannot intercept. Like I said, Mystiark is about superior calling, so this part is very likely, and you could always place this from hand to use this skill as well for the free soul charge as long as you meet the requirements. And the first skill kinda actually triggers the second skill if you actually meet the requirements. It isn't entirely too bad. And now to the 13k power grade 3 Mystiark Lulu Sur. It has a skill auto when placed on Vanguard, look at top 7 cards of your deck, choose one grade 3 or lower unit card from among them and call it to rearguard, and then of course shuffle your deck. The good part is that it's not restricted to Mystiark, so you could call anything you wish from the top 7. And considering that it's just placed on Vanguard, you have a reason to just continue performing your Persona ride if you wish. But overall, this skill isn't entirely too bad, considering that this can trigger some of your on-place Mystiark skills, mainly on the on-place ones, so this is overall not too bad. And it's just a plus overall. But anyway, second skill, Auto Vanguard. When this card attacks the Vanguard, cost counter +1, choose one of your Mystiark rearguards, return it to your hand, then choose a Mystiark card from your hand with a different name and call it to rearguard. Yep, here's your multi-attack, and like I said, superior calling is a theme of Mystiarks, and this is basically multi-attack on top of it. The nice part is that you can bounce the card back to your hand. That's the cool part. The only downside is that it's only restricted to Mystiarks, but we have a decent number of Mystiarks that it's actually not too bad. The only problem I could say about this card is basically lack of power, but that one grade 1 starter basically can grant you that power, because as long as a Mystiark is called by ability, well, this and that unit can get the extra power from there as well. So that's the only downside I could see from it, but in that, it's actually not too bad. And now to the supports, we start off with Mystiark Usa the Star. It's a grade 1 AK power, and the skill is auto rearguard. When this card boosts a Mystiark unit, you have 3 or more face down cards in the damage zone and did not countercharge this turn, countercharge 1. Main countercharger of the deck, still Mystiark, of course it's a 4-of. And keep in mind, this has to boost a Mystiark unit. So Inlet Pulse might not be great to run because it could actually clog up your lineup. Next, Mystiark Miyu Murrinrin. which is a grade 2 attacking power and skill is auto. When placed on rearguard, if you have 3 or more Mystiark units during that turn, this unit gets plus 5 key power, and then you can Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and that unit cannot be standing during your opponent's next stand phase. The Paralyze ability is actually not too bad. What's even nice is the extra 5k power buff. And since you have ways to Soul Charge, the Soul Blast is actually pretty cheap. But anyway, second skill, Act Rearguard. Once per turn, if your Vanguard is Mystiark at least grade 3, cost, bind this unit along with a Mystiark Rearguard with a different name, call this bound unit to Rearguard. So you bind itself with another Mystiark Rearguard to recall this back, which does trigger the first skill again, and I will have to say it's okay because it is a -1, but it re-triggers the Paralyze skill. Is it worth doing? Maybe. Sometimes you do want to clear up your board, so it isn't entirely too bad. Finally, Mystiark All Perk. Grade 3 attacking power and skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, if you have 3 or more Mystiark units during that turn, this unit gets plus 5k power. And also, you can counterblast 1 to draw a card. You have a way to countercharge, even though it is a hard once per turn countercharge, but the draw is pretty nice, especially when you want more units, because it is rearguard reliant in this deck. And more filtering the better basically. And considering that most Mystiark units lack power, this is just a nice extra power game which also helps as well. So that's it for this new ride line of the Mystiarks. What do you guys think of it? Cool concept, I kinda like the design, and it's quite cool for another manga ride line to be here. And nice timing too, considering that this is a break set. So what do you guys think of it? And how would you compare it to Silhouette? Design wise, I kinda like the Mystiarks better, but Silhouette has probably the cooler concept, because I do kinda like the equip arm type cards, or in this case attach, but that's just me. But Mystiark is still pretty cool with the superior call in and all that. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.